Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com. He stood with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and ran for president twice. Reverend Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition changed American politics forever. The triumphs and troubles of a civil rights icon. That's coming up. And she doesn't serve out of obligation. Caregiving brings her the most joy. Meet the nurse who's been helping patients and mentoring colleagues for nearly 5 decades. Maggie's mission. And blood banks sound the alarm as supplies hit critical levels. Some blood types have less than a one-day supply left. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center's urgent message for donors.
And today begins our warming trend with high temperatures back in the 80s today. Later this week, we'll be back in the mid, maybe upper 80s. And then we have a cold front to talk about this weekend. All that and weather coming up.
And last thing of the Edna Cowgirls battling the Goliad Tigerettes in bi-district playoffs. We'll see who won and who's headed to the next round later on in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Fat Tuesday morning.
Fat Tuesday, your Taco Tuesday.
That's right. A lot of our viewers are saying they're going to enjoy Fat Tuesday by indulging in some tacos. I prefer shredded chicken tacos.
Shredded chicken tacos. I'd rather go with like a taco salad where I have a bunch of those Tostito scoops and a bunch of that taco meat on the plate, which is yummy. Well, if you're all tuning in with us on your Fat Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, we are starting out the day with a beautiful sunrise out there. Look at all those colors, y'all. We got some pink, we got some blue. It looks like we got some green out there too. And if you're headed out the door, maybe go see that sunrise. Maybe grab a light jacket. We're starting out the day a little cool, 53 degrees in Victoria, but that's matching our dew point of 53, y'all, bringing us 100% humidity. Y'all probably know what that means. Underneath our calm to very light winds, we are looking at fog around the area. You can't see too much of it here on the Victoria camera. It's pretty light right here, but I promise you there are some patchy spots around the crossroads that are seeing some of that denser, thicker visibility. So if you're going to be traveling here soon, make sure to please stay safe on the roads. We already have some dense fog advisories for our eastern counties until 9 a.m., right when it starts burning off. But we are starting out the day, all of us, a little cool, not just Victoria. Lots of low and mid 50s out there. So those kiddos, they're heading out the door. They're going to need their sunglasses and a jacket. Jacket because it's cool in the morning, but sunglasses because the sunshine's going to warm us up. Those details next.
Russia strikes Ukraine ahead of a third round of peace talks. This footage shows rescue efforts in the northeastern city of Sumy today. The cleanup efforts taking place ahead of peace talks between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine, which should resume this week. Strikes also took place in Odessa. And breaking overnight, ABC News has confirmed the Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. For more than 5 decades, he stood as a towering figure of the civil rights movement, rising to prominence in the 1960s alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His life dedicated to civil rights during some of America's most turbulent times. ABC's Karen Travers takes a look back on this life and legacy.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
For Reverend Jesse Jackson, hope was much more than a word. It was a mission. Born to a single mother in South Carolina, he was ordained in 1968. I am. As a young man, Jackson was deeply involved with the fight for civil rights. He worked for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, headed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Jackson was at the Memphis Hotel on the night of April 4th, 1968, when King was assassinated. Jackson may be best known for his presidential campaigns, running as a Democrat in 1984 and 1988. His Rainbow Coalition surprised the political world by winning several primaries. However, Jackson's legacy was marred by controversy. In 1984, he famously referred to New York City as Hymietown. He later apologized. In 2001, it was revealed he'd had an affair with a staffer, which resulted in the birth of a daughter, and that he'd paid the child's mother thousands of dollars out of his group's coffers. And Jackson's relationship with President Barack Obama was a tempestuous one. While he supported the president's 2008 campaign, an open mic caught Jackson criticizing the candidate.
Barack been talking down to black people on those faith-based.
Still on election night, Jackson had tears in his eyes as President Obama took the stage. In his later years, Jackson worked to secure the release of hostages from the Middle East and was a vocal critic of the war in Iraq. Throughout it all, Jackson never ceased reminding the poor and the marginalized that they too had a voice.
I am somebody. I am somebody.
Karen Travers, ABC News.
A local nurse is being celebrated for 45 years of hard work and giving back to her community. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with the nurse and has more on how helpful she's been to the Crossroads.
A lot of times you feel like people don't watch you, and you didn't realize how many people have been watching you do this all this year. For them to recognize that from your employees, that's important.
Maggie Bearfield's mission to become a nurse started when she was younger, being a caregiver for her family, and she credits her church for teaching her what it truly means to help and serve others. Over the years, she became a mentor to countless nurses, always stepping in to guide and encourage. She says the most satisfying part of her job is simple, helping someone else succeed.
Every time or any time I got into a position of a leadership, I always want to say, okay, what can I do to make this better? And that's what kind of kept me going throughout the years. I want to make a difference in our service.
Bearfield started at Detour in 1979 as a licensed vocational nurse helping patients get healthy. 10 years later, she received her registered nurse degree after raising her family and working full-time. Her advice for people getting into nursing is to get their degree first because it'll pay off in the long run.
I love the new young nurses that come on, and I just want to make a difference in their life. Yeah, nursing is tough these days, but this is what you got to look forward to.
For Bearfield, she doesn't serve her community because of obligation, but being a caregiver brings her the most joy.
Bearfield is a beacon of light in the Crossroads, serving through healthcare at her local church and raising children. The blood supply in the Crossroads is hitting a critical low, and local blood banks are asking for help. Normally, hospitals like to have at least a 5 to 7 day supply of blood on hand. Right now, that number has dropped to less than 3 days. Debbie Davila with the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center tells us some blood types are down to less than a 1 day supply, putting real pressure on area hospitals. They're urging anyone who's eligible to roll up their sleeve and donate before the shortage gets even worse.
We're in need of all blood types. We have a critical need for O-neg. O-neg is the universal blood type and can be given to any patient of any blood type.
Blood donations are used every day for trauma victims, surgery patients, cancer patients, and others who depend on blood transfusions to survive. That's why the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is asking donors to step up. They're open 7 days a week, making it easy to find a time that works for you. For more local news, weather, and sports, come to crossroadstoday.com. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's 6:38 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. The search for Nancy Guthrie's killer narrows as DNA evidence heads to the FBI database.
Authorities are investigating a mass shooting at a Rhode Island youth hockey game. I'm Nicole D'Antonio with the details and what we know about the alleged gunman.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, well, it's a little cool out there now, but don't you worry about a thing because that sun's going to warm us up fast. So coming up next, we'll tell you just how warm it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, also Taco Tuesday. Once again, I want to let y'all know, please stay safe on the roads if you're going to be traveling here real soon, because once again, we still have some fog out there, which you might not think there's fog out there because you probably just looked out the window and didn't see any. But once again, I promise it's out there. As you can see, it's patchy in nature, pretty much all around all 13 of our Crossroads counties. Now, the fog that's out there right now, that'll burn off, I'm thinking, between 8:30 to 9 a.m. this morning. Totally burned off, I'm thinking, by 9. And then that'll burn down to mostly sunny skies, which you'll see in a second. But before we get there, what's this? More fog for tomorrow, Wednesday morning? How about Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning and Saturday morning. Each one of those mornings for the rest of this week, we're going to be seeing some patchy fog. So y'all just stay safe on the roads each morning this week. But like I said, the fog that's out there now, that'll burn down to mostly sunny skies. I'm thinking much of the day will be mostly sunny. There will be a few intervals in between here and there that will partly cloudy. As you can see, this computer's kind of spitting out some of that. So what that means is you need your sunglasses today because there will be some sunshine, especially peeking through that upper level cirrus clouds, which is the thin, milky kind, and that'll warm us up quickly. By 9 a.m., looking at mid-60s, noontime upper 70s, and in the afternoon, highs will get up to around 80 degrees, maybe even low mid-80s in our western counties. And overnight tonight, tomorrow morning, lows will drop down to the low 60s. And for the rest of this week, we're going to continue warming up before that front gets here, and we're going to look at that next.
Yesterday, we had a 3A clash between two Crossroads teams and bitter rivals to an extent, with the Edna Cowgirls facing the Goliad Tigerettes at Cuero High School. Both these teams kind of going into halftime, they're struggling to score. Edna had the lead 16-6, but in the second half, the Cowgirls would get the offense going. They were led by senior Mary Jane Ripa that led the way in scoring, and Edna pulled away to get the victory 38-23. And after the game, we caught up with the Whitting head coach and Dustin Dorham about how he thought about last night's victory and how Ripa has been a factor for this team.
Everything we talked about, we had to play hard on defense, hustle around, and then on offense, we had to be aggressive and try to get to the basket, and I thought we did a good job of that. The thing about her is that she looks to try to get everybody involved, and then every once in a while when the opportunity's there, she tries to go to the basket. But anytime that somebody else does something good, she's always the first one to be excited about it.
Now, Ripa and the Cowgirls now wait the winner of Crystal City Javelinas or the Marion Bulldogs, which will play later on tonight. And again, see if they can make a deep run. Again, this team made it a couple rounds deep their last season. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, authorities are investigating a mass shooting. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest as police say 2 people were killed and others are fighting for their lives.
This morning, investigators are looking into this chaotic scene as gunfire erupted during a high school hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
We have 1 shooter down at the location. We have 5 injured.
The gunman opening fire during the first period of the game while players were on the ice. Students and families in the stands running for safety.
It was a very scary moment definitely for the parents. It was a bang. I thought it was a pops. I thought it was balloons at first, but it was not balloons.
At least 2 people and the suspected gunman died. 3 others remain in critical condition. Police say a brave bystander was able to subdue the gunman and prevent even more bloodshed.
A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in the scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event.
Police identifying the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Durgan, who also went by the name Roberta. They say Durgan entered the arena armed with multiple weapons to watch a family member, then carried out what they say appears to have been a targeted attack stemming from a family dispute. The shooting comes just months after the deadly shooting nearby at Brown University. And officials say all the players in that hockey game are safe this morning. The victims' names have not yet been released. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
The search for Nancy Guthrie is entering day 17. Authorities in Arizona clearing Nancy Guthrie's family. ABC's Lana Moyes has the latest as they try to silence rumors and online chatter about who might be responsible for her disappearance.
This morning, all members of the Guthrie family have now been cleared as investigators searching for Nancy Guthrie focus on DNA in the case. The Pima County Sheriff saying, to be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in the case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel. The Guthrie family are victims, plain and simple. Sources say DNA from a glove recovered near Guthrie's home is being examined at a private lab in Florida. The glove is one of 16 picked up during roadside searches. Most authorities believe were discarded by investigators combing the area. Sources last night said the DNA sample was still undergoing quality control tests in Florida before the FBI can run it through its database known as CODIS, which will compare that sample to 22 million others.
If it's not in the DNA database, what that means is that more than likely this person has never been convicted of a violent felony. So CODIS is primarily containing the DNA of people that have been convicted.
Investigators are also looking into whether DNA recovered on the property, which does not belong to Nancy Guthrie or her family, matches the glove.
We've gotten DNA back, and that's why I say, well, they already have the genetic markers of those that we think had access to the home, rightfully so, the family, the landscapers, the pool guy.
The suspect's clothing also a focus. Investigators are going through Walmart surveillance footage and sales receipts looking for the buyer of the Ozark Trail Hiker backpack the suspect seen on this doorbell video was wearing. They say the clothes he wore that night might have also been bought at Walmart. Experts say investigators are also looking into Nancy Guthrie herself for possible clues.
We look at the victim's personality, we look at the victim's lifestyle, we look at their practices. Who do they interact with? How do they interact with people? And we study the victim in great detail.
As for the two men previously stopped for questioning in the case, sources say investigators are leaning away from them as suspects. Results from testing on that DNA from the glove could be back within days. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
If you see news happening, let us know. Call the number on your screen to contact our newsroom or email us your tips at staff@crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:47 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, we get the latest in entertainment news. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Kaysen. Happy 6th birthday, my sweet Kaysen. You are so loved today and always. Love from your family.
Oh, happy birthday, Kaysen. And also happy birthday to Anaya. Happy 9th birthday, baby girl. May you continue to reach for the stars. Mom, Dad, and Bubba love you.
Happy birthday, Jimmy. Happy birthday. Thanks for being a great dad, grandpa, and friend. We love you from the kids and grandkids.
And also happy birthday to Jeremy. Hope you have an awesome day. We love you to the moon and back. Love from Mom, Dad, Momo, Zeffy, and Elia.
And we want to wish Christian a happy 11th birthday. May God bless you with many more. Love from Nanny, Grandma, Nana, Dad, Mom, and all your siblings.
And Christian is our birthday cake winner today. Congratulations. Just head on over to Sweet Fountains Bakery to get that cake. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
And I want to wish Eileen a very happy birthday. I'm sure y'all are going to do something fabulous today, Eileen. And it's now 6:49 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday, y'all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope y'all are as excited as I am for some warm spring weather because it's all in the forecast this week, which you'll see here in better detail in a second. Today, early spring, high of 80 in Victoria. That's going to be 10 degrees above where we're supposed to be. A low tonight of 61. That's 13 degrees above where we're supposed to be this time of year. A record low on this date was 20 degrees, set 123 years ago, back in 1903. Now, that warmness today will happen underneath a couple things. First of all, mostly sunny skies, but also a little bit of this. We'll have a slightly breezy wind today in the morning time, 9 a.m. Wind gust will be up to 15 at times, but by noon and for the rest of the afternoon, winds will gust up to 25 miles an hour at times. So if you have any lightweight items outside, like an umbrella or maybe a hanging basket plant, make sure to maybe take that down so it doesn't end up like in your neighbor's yard. Now, for the rest of the week, if today is for some reason not warm enough for you, just hold on a little bit longer because here's Thursday and Friday will look about the same thing with high temperatures in the mid, maybe even upper 80s in our western counties. I'm thinking 85 in Victoria Thursday, 84 on Friday. Low temperatures will be in the low mid 60s with morning fog each morning this week before a cool front gets here. Saturday morning, that'll drop our highs down to the 60s and lows will be in the low 40s, maybe upper 30s. All that because of this low pressure system off the west coast is going to come off of the northern Rockies instead of the southern Rockies, which means less rain. We'll talk about all of that more later on Sunrise.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Hollywood is mourning the passing of legendary actor Robert Duvall, who passed away at the age of 95 on Monday. Duvall's widow's co-star Viola Davis posted on Instagram Threads saying, "I've always been in awe of your towering portrayals of men who were both quiet and dominating in their humanness. You were a giant, an icon."
It was like a fantasy.
Tonight, catch John and Carolyn, Love, Beauty, and Loss on ABC. The new one-hour special chronicles the relationship between John F. Kennedy Jr., the son of the 35th President of the United States, and his wife, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. The special airs tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern and will stream tomorrow on Hulu and Disney+. Disney is the parent company of ABC, Hulu, and ABC News.
Squidward, wanna hear my big news?
Let me go mark some time on my calendar.
SpongeBob is coming back to the silver screen. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants will premiere on Paramount Plus today. And happy birthday to Michael Jordan. The NBA Hall of Famer is 63 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Are you ready to vote? The early voting in the March primary starts today, plus the deadline for your mail-in ballot is approaching fast. Important dates are getting close in the upcoming March primary election. The last day to apply for a ballot by mail is Friday, February 20th. Early voting starts today and runs through February 27th. The March 3rd primary election will have many local, state, and national races on the ballot. The Department of Public Safety is hosting a public meeting to share details on a possible relief route around Bay City. The virtual meeting this Thursday will give residents a chance to review proposals and weigh in from home. If you prefer to show up in person, there's also a meeting set up Thursday at the Bay City Civic Center. For details on how to join, come to crossroadstoday.com. I want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker.
Bless you, Carolina. She's had some sneezes this whole week, and I have too. And if y'all are feeling the same thing, it's because we have a lot of pollen in the air, which I don't really talk about as much as I would like to. Just don't have enough time in the show to talk about it. But we do have some pollen out there, so an allergy pill wouldn't be a bad idea. But it also wouldn't be a bad idea to postpone your travel maybe 1 hour, because looking live in Victoria, now with the sun exposing a little bit of the fog, you can see what I was talking about. There is fog out there, way out there in the distance, you can see it, but some other areas of the crossroads are seeing some denser fog, so that's why I'm saying maybe postpone your travel by maybe an hour or so, because looking at some patchy fog all around the area this morning, and also some of those cool temperatures. So if you're going to go look at that sunrise, maybe grab a jacket. We're all starting out in the low mid 50s. But if that's too cool for you, don't you worry about a thing. That Texas sun's coming up today, and we're going to warm up to 78 in Port Lavaca, 76 by noon, warmer in Victoria, 80 degrees I'm thinking today, upper 70s by noon, and also warmer in Cuero, 82 for today's high. So how about that? That sounds like an early spring. And what else sounds like an early spring is the rest of the week. Highs will be in the mid 80s later this week, maybe upper 80s for some, before a front gets here, and then we're right back in the 60s.
All right, hope you have a great Mardi Gras, and we'll see y'all later tonight. Be sure to join Shana, Don, Clovio, and Max for 25 News at 5, 6, and 10.